Alright, so let's remind ourselves how to make GUIs in Netbeans. So, in Netbeans, what you do is you can make new projects. So we still want to make a new project, and we still want to do Java with Ant, we still want to do Java application, and I'm going to hit next, and then I'm going to type, just here I'll put first GUI or something, oops, first GUI, something like that, and so all that's pretty familiar, it should be pretty familiar. Um, But what we want to do is typically that will make a console application where if we run it, as you know, this isn't going to do anything, but if there were any output, we would expect the output to be here in our output window, which isn't behaving. I want that at the bottom of the screen. I don't know why that's doing that, but we'll deal with that later. But the point is that the output is in the console. We don't want to do that. We want to make a GUI. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click here. We're going to go new, and then we are going to want a JFrame form. What this is going to do, well, again, just call it first GUI. No, we won't call it first GUI. We'll call it my GUI. When we run this, what this does is this will kind of, for free, give us a window. It's running. You can see that this is output saying it's compiling, but here we go. See, this is a window that I get for free, and it has, and when I say for free, I mean like I didn't code this. I get a window, and I can close it, I can minimize it, I can maximize it, and that's pretty much it. Okay. So since we're doing GUI applications, we want to get rid of this. So I'm going to delete this file, the one that was the console app. It refactors. This all this does is make sure that it's not being used anywhere in your code, which it's not. So anyway, now I'm just left with this. So we are in design mode, and over here we see this thing called swing containers. And if that's not there, you want to view your palette. So if you go to Window, you should see it somewhere in here, I believe. Hopefully, there it is, IDE Tools Palette. So if it's not there, see if you can get it to show up. And basically, you can use these swing. This is this Java Swing library, and Swing is essentially things that you can drag and drop onto a frame. Here's my frame, and I can take a button, for example, and I can drag a button over here, and here's a label. I can put a label here, and a text box, and I can, where's my text box? Here's text area, that's a little bigger. Text field is what I want. There we go. Okay, so those are three pretty standard things that I can put in my frame. And again, if I run this right now, I haven't coded anything. Excuse me. This is just saying you have to set the main class because I deleted the other file. So yes, I want this to be my main. Hit OK, and you'll see that all those things will appear on my window. And a clickable button and a text field that I can put things in. So click, 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 and I can go and I can delete that and put other stuff in. The label I can't do anything with. It's just to show text. So from there, if I want to actually code, then I want to go into the source mode. So if I want to do something with this button, for example, it might be smart before I do that to right click and change the variable name. Right now it's called JButton1, but a smart prefix would be BTN, and I'll just call this BTN hello because I'm going to make it say hello. And then on the text, I'll just put press me. So there we go. And I don't really need the text field for this example. I really just need the label. So I'm going to do the LBL display, and then here I'm going to edit the text to say nothing at the beginning. And then notice the size shrinks way down, so I might want to change the size of this so that it's viewable. I'm trying. There we go. And the text field will automatically get out of the way, so the label is there. And you can't really see it, but I could change the color if I wanted to. Anyway, So let's go into the source. I'm going to click here, and this is the source code for the window and everything. And you look at it and you think there's not very much of there, and it's true, there's not very much of there. But look at the line numbers, and there's 1 down to 113. NetBeans does a lot of work behind the scenes here for you. So when you decided to make a frame, Java NetBeans decided it was going to hide some of the code so you wouldn't have to deal with actually writing the code to make a frame. If you ever want to see that, don't mess around with it, but if you ever want to see that, you can click and you can take a look in here, and you can see right here the code that NetBeans added to put the button on the frame and to put the label on the frame. So if you're ever wondering how, when I'm actually doing stuff in design mode by dragging things on and renaming behind the scenes in the source code, NetBeans is actually writing code for me. It's saying, hey, the user wants to put a new button called BTN Hello. They want to create a new label called LBL Display, and they're going to set the text of the button to press me. So you can do all this stuff through code, but I just wanted you to be aware that this isn't magic. There's actually code that NetBeans is writing for you that you don't really have to worry about. And even some stuff in here like this, they talk about layouts and adding gaps and things like that. It's not impossible to understand at all, but we don't have to deal with it right now, so I'm going to minimize it. And then here you can see that there's a public static main. So here's the entry point to my program. So when I run the program, this is what happens. It says, okay, we're going to, and again, there's stuff in here that I don't really understand what it is. We're going to set the Nimbus look and feel. That sounds wonderful. There's your challenge. I want somebody to tell me what that actually means. But you can see there's some try catches here. So there's stuff you've seen before. But again, we don't have to worry about, so I'll get rid of it. And then you can see really all it's doing is when we when we run the main, it's saying we're going to make the GUI visible. So essentially it creates the form and shows the form to the user. Okay, so that's all just kind of background about what's going on when you actually create a frame. Again, look here, variable declarations, stuff that you've seen before, do not modify. In fact, I don't think I even can. I'm trying to type right now and I can't modify this, so it kind of prevents you from messing it up. So if I want to go into here and make a hello world program, if I want to code the item where I want the action to occur. In other words, I want action to occur when someone clicks the button. So I double click on this button, and it takes me right into, the cursor is right where it needs to be. There's a button called hello, and when someone performs an action, we're going to do something. So what I want to do is I want to put hello world in the label. So the label is called, and I look down here, the label is called display. Ooh, I got ahead of it. If this thing about NetBeans is NetBeans will try to finish things for me. Dot, and then if I wait, there we go. And I want to set the text to hello world. So just like that, I should have a little GUI program where if I click on the button, it says hello world. Boom, there we go. Okay. So now that you've seen kind of this refresher on how to make a GUI in NetBeans, I think what I would like you to try to do is see if you can make a program that will act sort of just like a little calculator. So just make a couple of text boxes that people can put numbers into, and see if you can get the user to add the numbers together. And I might think of another little exercise where you go a little further than that. So this video is to kind of show you how to do basic GUIs, and you can now go ahead and do the exercises that I post.